Hi everybody! Welcome to the end of English 101 for this late start course in week 8. So I just wanted to put together a quick video going over the assignments for this last week of our course and some tips for revising your proposal letters, which are going to be due next weekend. So let's go ahead and get started. The assignments for this week include your last readings and reading quiz. I kept it pretty short this week. A one-on-one conference with me. So please let me know if you can't attend a conference synchronously, like at the same time. If you need to do yours via email, just shoot me an email. We'll arrange that. Discussion board 8, your last one. There is a course evaluation, which is not required part of your grade, but is a really good opportunity for me to get feedback directly from you. So I really encourage you to give that a shot. And then your proposal final draft will be due next Monday. So I know this is maybe a few more steps than we typically have, but the conference and the course evaluation are really important too, especially this last week in the course. So in week 7, your goal was to draft the last of our 4 essays for English 101, your proposal letter advocating for a change to either your town, the institution of SWIC, or your job. So looking over our discussion board, I think you guys had some really cool ideas, and I'm excited to go through your drafts with you guys this week. While you are revising, I wanted to encourage you guys to revisit the assignment sheet. That's where I give all of the information that you'll need. And then ask yourself some of the following questions. Do you have a clear thesis? Do you have a clear idea that you want changed? Do you have examples to give support? Do you transition from paragraph to paragraph effectively? Do you have personal experience where appropriate? I think in these letters, especially personal experience can be very persuasive. So don't be afraid to kind of say, this is a change I'd like to see because my experience aligns with it and I personally have been affected by it. Then ask yourself if your style is appropriate to your audience. Remember that you're writing to a specific person, okay? Say you're writing to the president of SWIC, Nick Mance. You're going to speak differently to Nick as opposed to if you're writing to a boss at your job that you see every day, right? So just consider if your style and your word choice is consistent with that audience. And then the last question to ask yourself, are you formatting your letter correctly? And this I'm going to go over in a second. So when you're formatting a letter, it is different than an email. It is different from an essay. You want your contact information at the top. You then want the date. You then want the contact information of the person that you are writing to, a greeting. Then the paragraphs of your letter broken up into sections with a closing and a signature at the end. So if you're not comfortable putting your real contact information on these letters, that's fine. Make something up. But having the letter formatted in this way is what a reader might expect, and also kind of forces you to put yourself in the mindset of a letter reader. All right, so I'm going to be looking specifically for this formatting. Just like with our blog post we wrote a few weeks ago, you might notice that letter writing often necessitates smaller paragraphs because the person reading your letter is going to be skimming, most likely, and you want to make sure that you're giving the most information very quickly. All right, so just keep this formatting in mind as you're revising your drafts. A few tips for revising that either we've seen in you writing or you've heard from me before, but it never hurts to repeat. Number 1, read your paper out loud. This is one of the best ways to catch any mistakes or sort of awkwardness in your writing. If you have a printer, print it out or write all over it. Try and start with one section, maybe the conclusion of your proposal, and then take a break and come back to the introduction. Don't try and tackle your entire piece at once because you're going to get frustrated, overwhelmed, and you're going to want to quit. Other advice, pretend you are the reader, not the writer. So put yourself in the shoes of the person you're writing to. Ask yourself, would I understand and be sympathetic to what this person is asking of me? Excuse me. This is especially effective for proposals where you want to not only say this is a change that will impact me as a writer, but you want your reader to believe that this change is good for them. All right. So if you're talking about a change to SWIC and you're saying, if we made this change, this would really help me as a student, I think that's persuasive, true. But can you make it so that it would benefit the president, benefit the college as a whole, benefit our community? That will make it even more so. Final things, have the Success Center help you. The online writing lab is free to use, and all you have to do is submit, copy and paste your draft over, and they'll give you some great feedback. And last but not least, don't wait till the last minute. Please, please, please. I know that in this crazy world, sometimes things get away from us, but the sooner you get this done, the sooner you'll be finished. One final reminder, often when I have students revise their writing, they look at me and they're like, I don't want to rewrite it. I already wrote it. And my response is that you're not rewriting. You're rethinking, you're reseeing, you're re-envisioning your writing. And the more that you do this in the process of a class like this, where I'm kind of forcing you to, you do one draft, you take a step back. You do another draft, you take a step back. You do more revising. Like that I'm doing intentionally because hopefully when you get into other courses or other work in your life, you start to kind of automate those steps in that process so that you don't have to separate it piece by piece. But trust me, doing it this way is effective and it works. Your essay is due December 7th. Any late work, any revisions of previous essays are also due on the 7th. After that point, our class will become unavailable on Blackboard, and your final grades will be posted via eStorm by December 14th. So hang in there, good luck, and I will talk to you guys during conferences this week.